Hello everyone, and welcome to a video that's less about delicious recipes and more about a deeply unsettling question. What if the food we take for granted starts disappearing? Imagine walking into your favorite grocery store and finding the shelves empty, or sitting down for a meal only to realize that the ingredients you love are no longer available. I'm not talking about far-off future, but potentially within our lifetime. The signs are already here, and the changes are happening faster than we might think. The truth is, our global food system is facing some serious threats, and these threats are multifaceted. From the way we farm to the way we consume, everything is interconnected. Some of our favorite things on our plates might become a lot harder to come by. Imagine a world where chocolate, coffee, or even basic grains are luxuries rather than everyday staples. Over the next few minutes, we're going to dive into the surprisingly fragile world of 4 staple foods that might be on their way out. These foods are not just items on a menu, they are integral to cultures, economies, and our daily lives. We'll explore the perfect storm of factors pushing them towards the brink, from diseases to climate change, and how these elements are creating a precarious situation for our food supply. And yes, even corporate greed plays a role. Large corporations often prioritize profit over sustainability, leading to practices that can deplete resources and harm the environment. This isn't about fear-mongering, though. It's about raising awareness and understanding the challenges we face. By being informed, we can make better choices and advocate for change. It's about understanding the challenges, facing them head-on, and working together to find solutions. Community efforts, innovative farming techniques, and sustainable practices can make a difference. And maybe, just maybe, finding ways to ensure we don't end up with empty plates and a whole lot of regret. The future of our food is in our hands, and it's up to us to protect it for generations to come. Let's be honest, for many of us, a juicy burger or a perfectly cooked steak is more than just a meal. It's a cultural touchstone. It's a symbol of gatherings, celebrations, and even comfort. The sizzle of the grill, the aroma wafting through the air, and the first bite of that tender, flavorful meat, these are experiences that many hold dear. But have you ever stopped to think about what goes into making that perfect burger or steak? The journey from pasture to plate is more complex and fraught with challenges than most of us realize, but the future of beef is looking unpredictable. The industry is facing unprecedented challenges that could change the way we consume beef forever. From health scares to economic pressures, the landscape is shifting rapidly, and it's not just about the cows, it's about the entire ecosystem that supports beef production. Remember mad cow disease? That terrifying prion disease that ravaged cattle populations and made us all question our love of a good burger? It was a wake-up call that shook the industry to its core. The disease, scientifically known as bovine spongiform encephalopathy, BSE, not only affected cattle but also had severe implications for human health. The fear of contaminated beef led to widespread panic and significant economic losses. Well, it never truly went away. It's still lurking, a constant threat to the beef industry. Despite advancements in monitoring and safety protocols, the risk remains. The specter of another outbreak looms large, and the industry must remain vigilant. This ongoing threat has led to increased scrutiny and regulation, adding layers of complexity to beef production. And if a resurgence of mad cow disease wasn't enough to make you lose your appetite, let's talk about corporate consolidation. The beef industry is now dominated by a few massive corporations that wield enormous power. These companies control everything from the feedlots to the processing plants and even the distribution networks. This level of control has significant implications for pricing, quality, and availability of beef. A handful of massive corporations now control a staggering amount of the beef industry, from the feedlots to your local supermarket. This consolidation has led to a lack of competition, which can stifle innovation and lead to higher prices for consumers. Moreover, it creates a fragile system where a disruption at one company can have ripple effects throughout the entire supply chain. This lack of diversity in the beef supply chain makes it incredibly vulnerable. When a few companies control the majority of production, any issue, be it a disease outbreak, a natural disaster, or even a cyber attack, can have catastrophic consequences. The resilience of the supply chain is compromised, making it less adaptable to unforeseen challenges. One outbreak, one supply chain disruption, and suddenly those supermarket shelves start looking pretty bare. The COVID-19 pandemic provided a stark example of how fragile our food supply chains can be. Panic buying and supply chain disruptions led to empty shelves and increased anxiety among consumers. The beef industry was not immune to these challenges, highlighting the need for a more resilient system. And let's not forget about the environmental impact. The beef industry is one of the most resource-intensive sectors in agriculture. It requires vast amounts of land, water, and feed to raise cattle. This has significant environmental consequences, including deforestation, water scarcity, and greenhouse gas emissions. The environmental footprint of beef production is a growing concern for both consumers and policymakers. Raising cattle is incredibly resource-intensive, requiring vast amounts of land, water, and feed. The feedlots, where cattle are fattened before slaughter, are often criticized for their environmental impact. They produce large amounts of waste, contribute to water pollution, and are a significant source of methane, a potent greenhouse gas. The sustainability of this model is increasingly being called into question. As the world grapples with climate change, the sustainability of beef production is being called into question more than ever. The industry is under pressure to reduce its environmental footprint and adopt more sustainable practices. This includes everything from improving feed efficiency to exploring alternative protein sources. The future of beef may depend on the industry's ability to adapt to these new realities. So the next time you fire up the grill, take a moment to appreciate that burger. It's not just a meal, it's a product of a complex and often precarious system. Understanding the challenges and pressures facing the beef industry can help us make more informed choices as consumers. Whether it's supporting local farmers, choosing sustainably produced beef, or exploring plant-based alternatives, our choices matter. It might not be a given for much longer. The future of beef is uncertain, and the industry must navigate a myriad of challenges to ensure its survival. As consumers, we have a role to play in shaping that future. By staying informed and making conscious choices, we can contribute to a more sustainable and resilient food system. From bacon to sausage to pork chops, this versatile meat has been a staple for centuries. But the pork industry is facing its own set of existential threats. Swine flu, a highly contagious respiratory disease, has been wreaking havoc on pig populations worldwide. Outbreaks can decimate entire herds, leading to massive culls and shortages. And remember that global pandemic we're still kind of dealing with? Yeah, it highlighted just how fragile global supply chains really are. The pork industry relies heavily on a complex network of farmers, processors, and distributors, all operating on razor-thin margins. Disruptions to this delicate system, whether from disease outbreaks, labor shortages, or transportation bottlenecks, can send shockwaves through the entire system. The result? Empty shelves, soaring prices, and a lot of disappointed pork enthusiasts. Chicken. It's affordable, it's versatile, it's practically the mascot of lean protein. But behind this facade of abundance lies a deeply unsettling truth. The chicken industry is incredibly vulnerable. Avian flu, a highly contagious and deadly virus, poses a constant threat to poultry populations worldwide. Outbreaks can spread like wildfire through densely packed chicken farms, leading to mass culls and shortages. And we're not talking about small-scale outbreaks here. Recent avian flu outbreaks have been the deadliest on record, wiping out tens of millions of birds and sending shockwaves through the global poultry industry. The consequences are already being felt. Egg prices have skyrocketed, chicken is becoming more expensive, and experts warn that the worst is yet to come. So, the next time you reach for that rotisserie chicken at the supermarket, remember that it represents a system teetering on the brink. The ocean, a vast and seemingly inexhaustible source of life. It covers more than 70% of our planet's surface and is home to an incredible diversity of species. From the smallest plankton to the largest whales, the ocean's ecosystems are complex and interconnected, but the reality is far more sobering. Beneath the surface, our oceans are in crisis. The once thriving marine habitats are now under severe threat. Decades of overfishing, combined with pollution and climate change, have pushed many fish populations to the brink of collapse. Industrial fishing practices have stripped the seas of their bounty, leaving behind a trail of destruction. We're hauling in fish faster than they can reproduce, depleting stocks at an alarming rate. This unsustainable practice is not only reducing fish numbers but also affecting the entire food web. And it's not just about the fish themselves. The health of our oceans is intrinsically linked to the health of our planet. Overfishing disrupts entire marine ecosystems, creating ripple effects that impact everything from seabirds to whales. When fish populations decline, predators that rely on them for food also suffer. The consequences are already being felt. Coastal communities that depend on fishing for their livelihoods are facing economic hardships. Fish prices are rising, catches are dwindling, and some of our favorite seafood dishes are becoming increasingly rare. The scarcity of fish is driving up costs, making it harder for people to afford this once abundant resource. This isn't just an environmental tragedy, it's a threat to global food security. As fish stocks decline, the availability of a crucial protein source diminishes, impacting millions of people. Millions of people around the world rely on fish as their primary source of protein. In many developing countries, fish is a staple food that provides essential nutrients. The future of seafood is uncertain, but one thing is clear: we can't continue on this path of unsustainable exploitation. If we don't change our ways, we risk losing a vital part of our diet and our culture. We need to rethink our relationship with the ocean and find ways to fish sustainably, or we risk emptying our oceans and our plates. Sustainable fishing practices such as setting catch limits and protecting marine habitats are essential steps toward preserving our ocean's health. Marine conservation efforts and the establishment of protected ocean areas can help restore fish populations and ensure the long-term health of our seas. By working together, we can create a future where both people and marine life thrive. Community-led conservation projects and fishermen practicing sustainable methods are already making a difference. These initiatives show that it is possible to balance human needs with the health of our oceans. Imagine a world where our oceans are teeming with life once again, where vibrant coral reefs and schools of fish thrive in harmony. This vision can become a reality if we commit to sustainable practices and protect our marine environments. The journey to restore our oceans is challenging, but it is one we must undertake. Together, we can ensure that future generations inherit a world where the oceans are healthy and the bounty of the sea is available for all to enjoy. Well, there you have it, a glimpse into the uncertain future of our food supply. It's not a pretty picture, but it's a reality we need to face. The good news is, it's not too late to make a difference. We can support sustainable farming practices, demand greater transparency in our food system, and reduce our own meat consumption. What are your thoughts on all of this? Have you noticed changes in the availability or price of these foods? Share your experiences and ideas in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more eye-opening content. Because together we can create a future where everyone has access to safe, affordable, and sustainable food.